Ooga booga wooga looga. That one oogie boogie guy from Nightmare Before Christmas was really scary. He gave me nightmares. But I wanted to talk about addiction, which has nothing to do with that at all, unless you're addicted to eating bugs. I have written so many notes in the past for videos I wanted to talk about. Some full-fledged, some I would even have a double. I would make a 2 version. But one of the heaviest topics I've never actually talked about in a note or a video has been addiction. So that is something I would love to go through today, as it has been really affecting me lately. Not only me, but the people around me. So the first thing that probably pops in your mind with addiction is drugs, but that's only going to be like 1% of this video. The reason I'm making this is because my dad is addicted to watching sports, and he does that like a lot. And if I ever pointed it out, he would start pointing out ways that I waste my time as if we're the same person. But I try to tell him we're not. And it just is kind of unmotivating to walk out of my room and just hear sports and see someone sitting down on the couch watching sports for hours every single day. Right? Like, I feel like you guys could get how that would be a little bit annoying. It gets a little bit of depressing even. Very repetitive. It makes me feel like I don't want to do anything. I think it'd be really cool if I could walk downstairs and see my amazing parents playing a board game. Does that sound cringy? I don't know, playing I Spy. I don't know. Throwing down some Twister. One of my biggest problems I tried to point out to him was the fact that, like, as he gets older, he's like hurting more. Like, he complains about like pain all the time and getting older. But then he spends so much time sitting down, just watching stuff. And to me, I feel like that's something you would regret when you're older. And I think a lot of people would also agree on that. When you zoom out, look at it from a bird's eye view, that is something that's very regrettable in your future. I have been told by so many people older than me, I've made videos about it, where I've been told by people about how precious time is and how fast it can just slip between the cracks in your fingers. So to see someone that I've always looked up to my whole entire life because they're my parent just waste their time away every day and then tell me that I also waste my time away, so it's perfectly fine. It just I don't know, it makes me feel like there's no point to like anything. I don't know, not in like that wouldn't be a reason I would be like, cross the line. I can't really say the word, I don't think, but like too far to do the rope trick, like I don't think it's to that point, but it's definitely to the point where it's like I don't like want to do anything. Like I've said that before, like it's unmotivating. I think that's the perfect way to describe it. It's just like I don't want to do anything if that's all I see. Like one of my highest motivators for anything I do is hearing other people talk about what they've gone through, what they've learned, what they've done, and actually them doing stuff, them experiencing things and talking about it. Like seeing all that is what really helps me. But I have to get all of that from online, or just like if I get a rare, really cool friend. So it's just unfortunate because part of me just screams and yearns to have that in real life. But I know it's just like not possible. But it's something to talk about. So I wanted to talk about it. I'm not really looking for any sympathy. I would love if someone could tell me if like I'm right on that though, if I'm not crazy. But I do truly think that I'm coming from a sensible point. And someone might just be a little addicted, right? It's like almost telling, oh my God, it's almost exactly like telling a drug addict they have a drug problem. That's almost the response I get, which is kind of crazy. I've never thought about it like that before. But it's almost like when they try to make you feel bad about it. Like that's what was going on. It's like I felt bad about being worried about someone else, which is never what should happen. But that's what happened. So yeah, addictions can be pretty brutal. They can not only affect you, but so many others around you. Especially when you're a parent. But it could happen to friends. You could affect your friends if you have an addiction. You could be affected by your friends if they have an addiction. Siblings, it can be very strong. Cousins. So just family, I guess. Family is when it can get pretty rough. That's where you hear a lot of bad stories come from. You have certain family members that are going downhill because of it. That's always so sad. I just think it's very unfortunate too that a lot just isn't talked about besides drugs. Like when you think of addiction, you just think of drugs. That's not good. Like yes, drugs are addictive. You should stay away from them. But there's so much more than that. Don't call me a boomer, but I think one of the biggest addictions for people around me, my age and younger, and older, is TikTok and social media. It's one of those things where people get like called weird for talking about it. Like if you call that an addiction, you're just called unk. You're called like a boomer. You're called old. You're called cringy. But I think it should be addressed how it is. My first and only long-term relationship had a big problem from my point of view, right? There was probably a big problem from their point of view because was me. But one of the problems that they had from my point of view, and they were not a terrible person by any means, right? But one of the problems they had was they spent a lot of time on social media. So much so that it showed up in their personality. Like how they laughed, like made me feel like they were on their phone so much. I don't know how to like explain it, but I was also on TikTok quite a bit. Not as much as them, but I was on it quite a bit where I was able to realize like how you talk, how you laugh, what you think is funny seems to not be the real you. Right? And we were young. We were like 16. So to see that happen made me be like, uh-oh, that's kind of scary. Like you're so young and you're seeing someone literally like become not them. And I was able to pick up on the fact that it was because of their phone. And it would be very common where I would see their screen time for, I think it would be either 7 days or 10 days. It would consistently pass 40 hours. Sometimes it would be 42. Sometimes it would be 48. Sometimes it would be in the 50s. I saw it in the 60s one time. Like that is insanity. That is crazy. Just like what I was saying before, if you zoom out from a bird's eye view, you would look at that and be like, that is not a smart decision. That is something you would regret. Right? But that's what was going on. And if I pointed it out, I was seen as like annoying, right? I was seen as like, bro, shut up. That's not what she had me for, right? She didn't want me to just sit around and tell her what she was doing wrong. So it was just seen as wrong. But I think that is an addiction. 100%. Oh my God, that is an addiction. That is worse than if she had like a vape addiction. Obviously, short term though. Long term, she might live longer with the TikTok addiction, but it's like, gang, your brain going bye-bye. And also, let's not compare addictions. I don't know why I was doing that. That's so stupid to say. Let's not compare things to each other. No, all of it is bad, right? Things can be okay in moderation. But oh my God, addicted to anything, not good. No matter what it is. No matter if it's harmful to your body or not. It hurts in some way. But she is not the only one. Oh, no, 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 no. The reason I hung out with her the most, and that's why we ended up getting in a relationship, was because we were in a friend group. And whenever I would hang out with any of the other friends, right? Like, let's say they came over my house. We would sit down and then they would go on TikTok. Then they would just scroll TikTok for minutes and minutes and hours and hours. And I would be like, what are we doing? Why did you come over to my house to do something you already do every day, not at my house? And it wouldn't just be one person. It would be multiple people. And I would see it over and over and over again. I see it in my own family, right? I've seen many people that spend hours every day on TikTok. And it like hurts. I don't like feel pain from it. It's almost a hopelessness sense. It's the same thing where what I was saying, where I don't like seeing people just wasting time. I don't like that. Even if it gives them a shallow laugh, even if it gives them like some like little inspiration of hope, it just isn't, it doesn't feel right. I don't know. It doesn't feel like natural. It doesn't seem real, right? And a big part of that is enforced by just ads. Like when I use TikTok now, it's just advertisements all the freaking time. I'm able to kind of see through everything and understand that if you're spending 40 hours plus on TikTok, or even less than that, you're falling for their tricks. And just like before, that don't make you stupid. You are not dumb for falling for the tricks. There are people who write the code to the algorithm who study how your brain works. They know how the average person would respond to whatever given circumstance. And they use that to their advantage to make you addicted. So when you're addicted, do I blame you? No. If you realize you're addicted and don't do anything to stop it, then I like low-key blame you. But I don't think it is your fault. It's the fault of the people that study how your brain works and then use it to manipulate you. Those are the true culprits. We have a duty to get out of it, right? To understand and confront the issue and then do our best to change it and not fall for it anymore. That's our duty. But there are people at the top that will do anything they can to keep getting little dollars out of us and understanding how our brain works with the pure motivation of just draining us from everything we have. Hey! I'm working on a website to house all my music, videos, and community. Phase 1 starts on Patreon. If you're interested in helping the vision come to life or even just supporting the project, I'd love to see you over on Patreon. Link in the description. If you want to help support my fight against Spotify, this is the way to go. And I made a video about it before, but it's about attention now. It's not about money. You know, money's a big factor. They want all that money. But when the government controls social media companies and is able to choose what's shown to people, like on the news and stuff, that isn't a freedom of decision on our part. We're losing our freedom of decision and choice. So that's why they go for the attention, because that's their new value, is control and manipulation. That's what gets them the most money in the long term. So the way to fight that is just to realize anything can be an addiction, right? We also know the other bad ones a lot of people fall for, but it's the advertiser unfriendly stuff I can't really talk about, unfortunately. But one big thing I see promoted all the time is that it's almost like good for you to goon, I'll say. I've been told many, many times that it's good for stress. It's good for like just other things. Even if there's like a study backing it up, guys, it doesn't make it real. I don't think people understand how manipulative your sex drive is. How often you are having sexual thoughts is literally correlated to how much money some companies can make off of you. If you are constantly in a state where you are looking for that type of pleasure over and over again, every single day, just again and again and again, it's never enough, you are the perfect consumer for them. That's what they want. And there are so many people like that. The older I got, the more I realized that it was just normal that people thought that way. Like, it was completely normal for people around me to just see a girl bend over and point it out to me and be like, right? And these are the people where I would ask, I would be like, do you like do anything more? And they would be like, yeah, like every day. And that's another thing where it's like people who say that would never, ever, ever call that an addiction. Especially with these narratives of it's good for stress, it's good for your health being pushed. When that stuff is put in your head, then you think it's like perfectly fine. You would never call it an addiction. But I do think a lot of people profit off of that. And just because it seems all good, it does not make it all good in the long term. Withstanding from that pleasure always brings me so much progress in my creative life, in my social life, in so many aspects of my life. I benefit immensely. I benefit so much with my sleep, with my habits, with my motivation, all of that by withstanding from that addiction. And yes, not one thing is going to cause everything. Like if you're depressed, there's reasons for it. It doesn't just happen. So if you're depressed and have an addiction, I don't think cutting the addiction is going to make you better. But everything can be a little start. Everything could be a little bit of the way there. And I think that's what's important to look out for, is the stuff that's long-term damaging, but it's like secret about it, you know? Like TikTok, like the thing I just mentioned, sports. Another thing I think is really good is hijacking the addiction system. The same way that companies try to manipulate you by knowing how your brain works and how your reward system works to try to get you addicted to things like the algorithm and even food or even logos when they use certain colors because they know how it affects your emotions. Like they know how you work. So what if you knew how you worked? One thing I use all the time is I almost try to get myself addicted to working out. I try to get myself addicted to going on bike rides and stuff. I want to get myself addicted to like healthy things. What if there's like a food I want that's unhealthy? So I'll tell myself if I get work done, then I can have the food. Almost like a dog. Like when you're training a dog, if you understand how your brain works in that aspect, you can get yourself addicted to doing good things, to doing things you want to do. You just gotta have some benefit, some reward after. That's exactly what big companies do. Like the addiction of attraction happens when the reward is just being attracted to someone. Why would they not want that to be the reward? Like imagine if you're making money off of people by making movies and all of your audience just loves looking at attractive people, this perfectly crafted figure that's happened over time, that's who your audience loves looking at. And you put them in the movie, your audience isn't watching just for the movie. They're watching for that. It's their dose. It's the hit they need. So that's where addiction benefits these big corporations. If all they need is a hot actress to put in a movie for you to go see it, then they won. That's such low effort they gotta do now. We're being manipulated. We like don't care. It's so upsetting. Let me know what big addictions impact your life, whether it's you or the people around you. You know, it might be gaming, it might be Fortnite or something. I don't know. I was addicted to Fortnite for a while. I would not get off of that. I would just distract myself. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like the world I was in. So I would just play games for hours and hours and never look back. But I kind of regret it now. So I love promoting that message. So maybe I can save some other people some time. You guys can create amazing things that you don't even know about yet. So go find it out. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Like this video so more people get to see it. And then last but not least, listen to Blakey on all platforms. And then comment down below something about the video too. I want to have discussions with you guys. Okay, bye.